In this week's episode of One Piece, Bartolomeo's fanboy dreams finally come true, and Rebecca gets all medieval on Rolling Logan. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. My 4X razor has 4 high-quality stainless steel blades, and you can have this bad motherfucker shipped right to your door. Cut ties with traditional razor blades, and sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Remember guys, you can check out a link for that in the description box below if you feel like being a lazy asshole. It's dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, razor pun. Bartolomeo and Rebecca. 2 characters who get a lot of face time this week. And I really like that because I think these 2 characters are very strong candidates for next member of the Straw Hat Pirate crew. Hell, both of them could join by the end of the arc. They did the same thing with Nico, Robin, and Frankie, although Nico was with the crew for a long period of time before it was all official. But still, honestly, a few more members would not hurt, and they both left quite an impression this week. We finally got to see Rebecca in battle again, and she didn't do anything too flashy, but at least she was joined by this massive, happy-faced Amazonian woman who helped out in the battle, and honestly, her fighting against Rolling Logan I thought was a little more exciting, but that's just because, you know, it was like giant versus giant, and Rolling Logan was throwing a lot of bad punches in there, but the actual battle with him and Rebecca really isn't too exciting. In fact, Rebecca defeats him by basically countering him just like always, except unlike before when she actually brought people to the edge of the ring, this time she actually jumped in the sky and actually used the momentum of his punch to get behind him and trip him up into actually running to the edge of the water and falling in. It was pretty clever, and pretty much her whole shtick is that she can pretty much counter everything. And if they can manage to expand upon that and make her like the counter queen, that could actually be really cool, but still nothing too flashy. My favorite thing about this week's episode, though, is actually Bartolomeo. The episode actually opens up with him trying to find Luffy desperately. He also realizes that if he ran into Luffy and Zoro, there's a pretty good chance that the other members of the Straw Hat crew are going to be there, and he starts to have a huge fanboy moment. And he runs into this one area where all the injured opponents are going, and apparently they're all being dumped into this massive toy pit. And I'm guessing this is where they're actually going to be turned into toys, or this actually might be a huge trick by Doflamingo. Speaking of Doflamingo, I was really hoping they would get back to the fight with him and Law, but they completely ignored that this week. But that's understandable. This is the One Piece anime series, and there's like 10 different plot threads going on right now, and they just sort of pick and choose where they like to go at a time. And this week, they were focusing on Rebecca and Bartolomeo, and it really was great at the very end of the episode when he suddenly just runs into Luffy and just freaks the hell out. To be continued screen, and that's the end of this week's episode. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? Very simple one. I really didn't have too much to say. It was basically just Rebecca's fight and Bartolomeo finding Luffy. There are some cool small details, like seeing where all the losers of the battle are going, and there's a lot of important people down there. There's Chinchou, there's the big king dude, there's that one massive giant, and it looks like all of the losers are just going to be thrown down in there. And I can't wait to see what Doflamingo has planned for all of these people. It seems like this whole tournament was like a way to gather in a lot of big names, and sort of to try and like take some people off of his kill list. But I'm not really sure where that's headed quite yet. But the whole thing with Rebecca was okay, nothing too crazy. I was kind of hoping that when she jumped in the air, she would do something a little, you know, just different than what she did before. But it was really kind of interesting how she used his punch to actually use her sword to touch down on top of his arm, get behind him, and put it right beneath his feet. But otherwise, just okay stuff. Really, it's all about that Bartolomeo scene, which was actually very funny, especially at the end of the episode when he struggled just to say Luffy's name. Just left a nice smile on my face. Otherwise, this was just an okay episode, but if you've been following the series, I still would recommend checking it out just to see Rebecca in action, and of course, to see Bartolomeo finally running into Luffy. It's just a really great expression. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 7 out of 10. Nothing too mind-blowing, but something that the One Piece fans will enjoy. Check it out. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of One Piece. Do you think Bartolomeo is going to be able to control his shit in front of Luffy? And make sure, if you have not already, to subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews, such as Sailor Moon Crystal, or even Sword Art Online Season 2. And make sure to check us out on both Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for all that stuff in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.